is The Jason Walker Show. Two-time National Sports Media Association Montana Sportscaster of the Year and three-time loser, The Jason Walker Show. The best local and statewide sports coverage, featuring the biggest guests from Montana.
Flint Rasmussen joining us here on The Jason Walker Show.
He's freaking exhausting, too. You used to dance a lot more. Yeah, I know, lady. I'm 51 years old now.
The NAI Hall of Famer Mike Van Diest joining us here, Jason Walker Show. And is it just a deal where quarterbacks have to be good golfers?
Well, that's all they have time for. They don't work out. They don't lift weight. They don't do anything else. They might as well go get on the golf course and at least have some fun.
And from across the country,
Doug Gottlieb, our guest here on The Jason Walker Show.
End of the day, remember, it's your show. It's got your name on it.
Howie Mandel, our guest here.
Jason Walker, deal or no deal?
The Jason Walker Show.
And we welcome you inside the Jason Walker Show, presented by Capital Collision Center. Montana State law says it's your vehicle. It is your choice where you have it repaired. Choose Capital Collision Center. Big show coming up today. We're going to talk a lot of hoops. Brandon Day will join us, Helena High boys coach. The Bengal boys on a little bit of a roll as of late. We'll talk to Katie Garcin-Forba about our Capital girls. And Steve Keller will join us coming up in just a couple of minutes to talk about winning 300 games at the collegiate level. And also the shot clock, we're going to talk to him. And baseball. We're going to talk a lot stuff today. Also, walk-off on this day in history, much more. You can watch on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. You can listen on Podbean, Network One Sports, TreasureStateRadio.com. Go to JasonWalkerShow.com, our Twitter handle, @JWalkerSports. You can also get a hold of us, 406-209-1267. Thursday, we'll talk to Jerome Sowers, scheduled, it appears, the new head coach at MSU Northern. We'll talk to him, so looking forward to that. The opening segment of the Jason Walker Show is brought to you by our great friends at Montana Custom Log Homes, the premier log home company in the industry. 3 distinct divisions so you can create the log home of your dreams in your budget. Milled log packages, also handcrafted in timber frame, and basically anything that fits your budget. 50-plus years experience and the best craftsmen available in the state. Go to yourcustomlog.com for more information. Montana Custom Log Homes. All right, so we start today with some bummer news for me. I lost Montana Sportscaster of the Year from the National Sports Media Association. It's voted on by your peers. You get nominated by your peers in November. The final vote goes out in December. And congratulations to Bobcat announcer Zach Mackey. I've won it a couple times, twice, 2013 and 2016. It's a great honor just to be nominated by your peers. This was the 7th time I was a finalist, and I lost. So I'm feeling a lot like Grizzly football right now. I won twice in the finals, and I've lost 5 times. Because I've been into the finals 7 times. So I'm 2-5. I'm like the Grizz football team in championship games. Congratulations to Zach. Like I said, it's a great honor to be nominated by your peers. It's a great award. It's like the 63rd year. It's the longest running sports media association in the country. John Lataski of the Billings Gazette, 406 MT Sports, was also the sports writer of the year for Montana, his first award. So congratulations to those two. It's well deserved for both of them. I'm just bummed. It's been a rough couple of weeks. I lost my fantasy football championship game by 3 points. I lost, which cost me a couple $100, maybe $300. I lost the award for Sportscaster of the Year, all in the same week, by the way. This was announced today, but it was finalized a couple weeks ago. And then the Cats lost. I mean, it's been a rough it was a rough week. But we're okay. We survive and move on. Speaking of moving on, I'm bummed, like I said. These 2 awards right here are from Sportscaster of the Year. So I would have liked to have added a third there. Maybe next year. But it is validation for being out on my own and doing this on my own. So thank you to our great listeners who keep this show going, our fantastic sponsors who keep the show going, and always looking for more. But appreciate y'all. So baseball, a shot clock, and 8th graders being allowed to play varsity sports other than football. That was the big news that came out yesterday, the MHSA's year-end or yearly show. And we've talked a lot about the shot clock. We'll talk about it with coaches coming up, including Steve Keller in just a couple of minutes. But baseball, there's some questions I have. I mean, I love baseball. It's my favorite sport. I wish they would have added it back, when I played baseball in the late 80s, early 90s in Legion and stuff. But it's a fantastic deal for kids, and I think it's awesome. My questions are, okay, facilities. Where are we going to play? Now, it's up to each school to decide if they're going to add this, but add baseball. But where are you going to play? Because a lot of the, like over in the Bitterroot, the Missoula Mavericks won't let the AA schools use the Legion field unless they pay for it. So there's that. Same with the Bitterroot Bucks. Where are the numbers going to come from? Right? And we talked a little bit about it yesterday. There's dwindling Legion numbers across the state. So where are you going to get school numbers now? For varsity, let alone maybe a JV team. You think Butte Central can form a team? Maybe? Do you go to Butte High, may transfer? And the biggest one for me is umpires. Where do you find umpires? We already have a shortage of officials, football, basketball, wrestling, all these officials across the state. We have a shortage, nationwide, really. But now where are you going to find umpires for baseball? A couple of questions that I think need answered. So if you have any ideas, you can let me know there. 406-209-1267 at JWalker Sports on the Twitter. But anyway, just a couple questions. So over the weekend, Steve Keller picked up his 300th career victory. He was our Auto Concepts Performance of the Week yesterday, and I got a chance earlier to talk to him before he headed off to practice, and he joins us now here on the Mike Miller State Farm Hotline to talk about his Argos and what it means to get 300 career victories. Well, Coach, it's been a while since we chatted, but it's always fun to talk with you. Congrats, by the way, on 300 career victories at the college level. That's pretty special. It means you've been around a long time.
Well, that means I'm old. I guess that's a polite way you're saying I've been around a long time, and I have. And, it was kind of a milestone for me, but we really needed to win the other night, whether it was 300 or not, and our guys found a way to win, so I was pretty happy about that. I had a lot of my family, there, but then I found out afterwards they didn't even know, so it didn't matter.
Oh, that's awesome. But yeah, you mentioned the 300. It comes at Rocky, a place pretty special, Billings in your heart. So just being down there in general was a cool experience, I'm sure, for that.
Well, yeah, and I graduated from Rocky. I grew up 50 miles from there, lived in Billings a lot, and I have 3 sisters that live there, and so yeah, I have most of my sisters. 3 of them were there. My brother was there. I had some nieces and nephews there. There was a lot of people there, and I guess I forgot to tell them that I was going for 300, but I didn't really want to bring that up at all. I just wanted to get that out of the way.
When you get to that point, like you said, you just want to get out of the way. You don't want to stick around. You don't want to sit on that number for a while. So how nerve-wracking is that?
You see it happen all the time. It was nerve-wracking, and I never said a word to my kids. They had no idea. So, you've seen different things, and at every level, it's just sometimes it's just hard to get to that number that everybody wants you to get to, I guess, or a milestone or whatever it is. So, yeah, once the pressure went off, especially on me.
We're talking with
Steve. You get to thinking that maybe you're not going to get another win this year.
Oh, you know better than that. You're a good coach. You can get those kids to do a lot of things. Steve Keller, our guest here, Mike Miller, State Farm Hotline. You've got, I think, 910 combined wins now or something like that between high school and college. You going to stick around and get 1,000?
I think that's going to take too long, to be honest with you. Yeah, it's been amazing. I've been pretty fortunate, and I've said it. Or, you don't I don't care how good you are. If you don't have good players, you aren't going to win basketball games. You know, you can do a good job coaching mediocre guys and get a few wins here and there, but, you know, the difference between guys and win is players, and, you know, have good players. I've had really good assistant coaches. I got, you know, Mike McLean's helping me right now, and Tyler Hurley, who played for me. So I've had ex-guys who have played for ex-players who have helped me coach. So a lot of coaching. And I thought about knowing I was going to talk to you today, and a lot of good referees that were reffing. So there, I said it.
I like that. I like that you threw that in. I appreciate that. And some of our friends in the refereeing industry will appreciate that as well. Steve Keller joining us here, the men's Providence basketball coach. You mentioned good players. You've always had great ones, whether it was in high school, Western, or at Providence. And one of the ones I want to chat about real quick is the guy you didn't know if you were even going to get. I mean, nobody knew where he was going to end up, but Brendan Howard coming back home to Great Falls and is going to finish his career as an Argo. And he had a pretty big night in your 300th win, too.
Oh, absolutely. And I didn't even know that was a possibility, you know, that you could play at one place the first semester and another place the second semester. But, you know, looked it up in the rule book, and, you know, he wasn't happy there, and he got his release, and, you know, looked it up in the rule, but he's friends with some of our guys on the team, and it was a natural fit. It would have been nice to have him at the beginning of the year, but didn't matter how much I had him. You know, he's a big time difference maker when he's on the floor. So now all of a sudden, you know, our team going from, hey, we can be really competitive, you know, but now I think we can really compete, and we got a little more size, and he does some of the things that we've been missing all year long.
Marcus Stevens, another one of your great players up there. He's just had a nice career in an Argo uniform. How special has he been this season?
Oh, yeah, he's carried us. You know, he had 38 or 9 one game that helped us win. And, you know, and then the other night it was, you know, a lot of two-man game with him and Brendan, you know, and their chemistry together is really good already, you know. And so, yeah, Marcus has been really, really good for us for 2 years. And, you know, he can stay another year because of COVID if he wants, but I got some other guys that are really good students that can graduate, so I don't know if they're going to stay or not yet, but see what happens. And
that's a weird deal, because you always have a bunch of kids on the roster having the JV team and all of that, but also, I mean, there's got like, what, 35 guys on your roster, I think? It seems like.
We had 34, yeah.
Yeah. And some of those can stick around, and you know, it's just crazy because of the COVID year. Talking with Argo's men's basketball coach Steve Keller here, Jason Walker Show. Shot clock introduced an MHSA yesterday. You didn't have it when you were a player or a coach, but how important is it that shot clock is now coming to Montana high school basketball?
I think it's huge. You know, I've been an advocate. I haven't said much about it because I haven't been asked much about it, but why not? We try to do everything else, you know, rules that college uses, and, you know, and it does. I've won a lot of games stalling. I'm not going to lie, you know, with no shot clock, and wish sometimes when I'm playing at this level, we didn't have one, but, yeah, it just makes you coach different. You got to have termination plays, I call them, at the end of shot clock, and I really believe it's going to help. Now, I know the skills are down, but now they're going to have to try to pick up, and, you know, because the bad part, I guess, is if the team is not very good and, you know, they could control, you know, the score differential, you know, by holding the ball a little bit. But so it could be down, but I just think they're doing it across the nation. Why aren't we doing it?
No, I completely agree. And, you know, as a media guy, it's been harped about for as long as I can remember, because especially around tournament time, that's when all the media members are griping about it on the social medias. Why don't we have one? And it's finally here. And you bring up a good point, Coach, too, is the skills are down across the country, thanks to SportsCenter for over the years, I think. But this is going to make everybody a better basketball player, too.
Well, I would think so. And, you know, we try to do everything we try to practice game speed, I call it. And, you know, you got a shot clock. You have to speed up your tempo. You know, there has to be more of a sense of urgency to get a good shot and things like that. So, I'm looking forward to it. I think we've been long overdue, and I think people will enjoy it.
A couple final quick questions for you. They also introduced baseball. You were a big baseball dude in high school, right?
I played college baseball for 3 years, actually. Yeah, I love baseball. I would love to coach baseball. I mean, that's one of my favorite sports. And, yeah, I kind of like that. I know some of the Legion teams are worried about that, but, you know, let the teams that can have it. And it's about giving kids the opportunity. You know, we're in this COVID era too, you know, and we have to forfeit games and things like that. And I don't think we should have to forfeit games. I think we should be allowed to try to make those games up. Or last year we did no contest, but for some reason we decided they're all going to be forfeits. And, you know, we've had to forfeit one, but then we forfeit the Western, and when they had to turn around and they had to forfeit 2 last weekend, and, you know, other teams have had to forfeit. And I just want the kids to be able to play, you know, and I don't know if we're ever going to get back to normal, but it's frustrating.
Well, yeah, as close to normal as we can. What's up for the Argos this week and moving forward? How do you see the season projecting out?
We go to Northern this weekend. Or Thursday we go to Northern, and then Saturday we're at Western. So 2 tough road games. Western's a very good basketball team who's just come off of no games last week, and you know how Northern is. They can beat anybody in every given night. You know, Carroll and Tech are definitely the 2 best teams because, you know, they got a lot of their guys back that are fifth-year guys, and at least a bunch of them have been in there for 4. And so those are the teams we're looking at. We lost 10 to Tech and 8 to Carroll. And the 8 to Carroll was the first game Brendan was with us, and he never got to practice either because he got shut down. And, you know, so we had, since Christmas hit, we've had 4 practices where we had 10 guys. So, wow. And 3 of them were last week. So this week we get a practice 5-on-5. We did it yesterday. And so, but yeah, Carroll and Tech are the good ones, are the ones you have to compete with. I'd like to think that we're going to be in there now with Brendan.
Well, you got a long way to go. I mean, you're only 2-4 in conference, so that's 6. You've got 9 games left. You could win out and win the whole thing.
Well, yeah, I don't know if that can happen in this league, but you know, you can always hope. I know we're not going to be, you know, we're not going to be an easy out now, you know, and our guys will compete, and we got 2 guys that can, you know, score 30, which they did this last weekend.
Well, as long as the other team doesn't score, you know, have 3 guys to score 20, then, you know, that evens out, right? Isn't that how you do the math? If our guys, you told me that last year, if your guy scores 10, but our guy scores 18, then something like that. Yeah, it was as long
as... I'll tell you how my guys think. They only think that they got to outscore the guy they're guarding.
Right.
They don't think they have to guard. They just got to outscore him.
Well, that's why you just play zone, and then they have to guard everybody.
I know, and I should do more of that.
No, you know, I don't take coaching advice from me. You've got 300 wins. I don't. Hey, I know you got to run to practice, but appreciate the time. Congrats on the 300, and we'll talk down the road here this spring.
All right, thanks a lot, Jason.
That is Providence men's basketball coach Steve Keller joining us on the Mike Miller State Farm Hotline. It's not just a bundle. It's your home, it's your auto, it's your life. Mike understand. I get a hold of him. Mike Miller State Farm in Helena. Yeah, Providence man. Congratulations, Coach Keller. 300 wins. He's 910 wins, counting high school. So that's impressive. That's really impressive. At any sport, and I mean across the country, that's impressive as well. So congrats to him. All right, quick break. We'll come right back. We're going to talk with Katie Garcin-Forba, get her thoughts on the shot clock. She was a part of the committee that wrote the proposal. We'll talk to her about it. How is she going to solve baseball issues in high school? Find out next. Oh, and we might talk a little Capital Girls basketball. Jason Walker Show. This opening segment brought to you by Montana Custom Log Homes. Check them out, yourcustomlog.com. They are veteran-owned and operated, along with women-owned and operated, along with family-owned and operated, and they make you feel like family. Yourcustomlog.com. Helena.com. Coming right back, Katie Garcin-Forba joins us next. Jason Walker Show, presented by Capital Collision Center.
New vehicles keep coming, and Capital Collision Center keeps earning certifications to repair them. They're Helena's newest GM-certified facility. No matter the make or year, they repair your car to manufacturer's standards and requirements, maintaining its safety and value. Montana state law says it's your vehicle and it's your choice where you have it repaired. Choose Capital Collision Center, certified in GM, Subaru, and Nissan, and Helena's only shop certified in Honda, Acura, and Ford. When you value safety, go to Capital Collision Center on Euclid.
Strength, beauty, grit, superior craftsmanship. Our homes have it all. At Montana Custom Log Homes, if you can dream it, we can build it. With 3 divisions and over 50 years experience, we've got you covered. From a showcase home to a small cabin, we make your vision a reality. Because every cowboy wants a castle for his queen. Montana Custom Log Homes, crafting homes that last for generations.
Spring is fast approaching and summer is just around the corner, so now is the time to get those windows tinted at Auto Concepts as the sun starts to heat up. Tinting is the best way to keep the sun out of your little one's eyes driving down the road. Plus, it just looks cool. Auto Concepts is your exclusive 3M dealer for tinting as well as the best clear bras in town. Auto Concepts clear bras will not fade or yellow over time. And don't forget about suspension lifts and power steps for your rig too. Visit AutoConceptsHelena.com or check them out on Facebook. Auto Concepts, the auto enhancement professionals.
Who doesn't love being number one? When your team's dominating the standings, or your favorite band rocks the charts at number one, it feels good, right? Kind of like how it feels when you have auto insurance with State Farm. Because making you feel like number one is an honor your local State Farm agent takes seriously. Through the good times and not so good, your State Farm agent's proud to be here to help life go right.
Call State Farm agent Mike Miller in Helena today. Everyone knows about Dinners Done Right and the convenience of the cook and carry cuisines. It's so easy to just stop by and you have something for dinner that night. But there's also one more thing you need to know about. Dinners Done Right Grab and Go Salad Bar. Yes, I said salad bar. Always the freshest ingredients along with a daily soup and nacho bar too. So the next time you are in a rush or you just want to eat healthy, stop by Dinners Done Right for the soup, salad, and nacho bar. For monthly menus and more info, it's dinnersdoneright.com.
Store-wide savings are what you'll find when you shop for new home furnishings at Rucker's Furniture. This means tremendous values on Helena's largest in-stock selection of home furnishings. When you shop Rucker's, you'll find store-wide savings on the furniture you want for every room in your home. And you'll also find our selection of Serta iComfort, the most comfortable beds in Helena. 12-month financing is available with approved credit on most purchases over $289. Ask for details. You'll find store-wide savings at Rucker's Furniture, 1010 Dearborn, Helena.
Listen to The Jason Walker Show anytime and anywhere. Download The Jason Walker Show on iTunes, Google Play, or wherever you enjoy podcasts.
You can also go to jasonwalkershow.com anytime for any of our previous shows. You can watch or listen. This segment brought to you by Rucker's Furniture. Make the quality choice for your home at Rucker's Furniture, 1010 Dearborn, Helena. My wife's got our little one, her bed there. It's a full-size bed, and she loves it. Took a couple of nights, but she absolutely loves it. It is a very comfortable bed that we got from Rucker's Furniture, and man, if you need to get one for your kid or just you, Rucker's Furniture has great beds, and they'll deliver, which is even better. Let's see what's coming up. We're going to talk to Brandon Day here in a little bit. Helena High boys picking up a couple of big wins so far in 2022. But now we are going to talk hoops with Katie Garcin-Forba. She is the coach of the Capital Girls, who went 1-1 over the weekend. It's a tough road trip going up to the Flathead Valley, taking on Flathead and Glacier. Also, they're going to host Crosstown this week. It'll be a little bit different, and we'll get her thoughts on that as she joins us now here on the Jason Walker Show, courtesy of the Mike Miller State Farm Hotline. All right, Coach, it's been a couple weeks. I missed you. How are you?
I'm good. Things have been busy, but it's good. It's just we're getting into the heart of season, and yeah, it's, I haven't been adventuring like you recently, but I've been traveling around the state in the school bus, but you've had way more fun. But no, life has been good. Basketball, it just keeps rolling, and we keep getting better.
Well, that's all you can ask for. At this point in the season, you're only a couple of games into conference play, so you're still trying to figure yourself out, basically.
Oh, absolutely. We're young, and we still have some youthful moments, and this group hasn't really played together a whole lot. But, we had some great moments of just, when things really click, it's going to be a dangerous combination, and it's exciting to see those moments, kind of get bigger and bigger, and the lapses of, not playing as well together, getting smaller. So I think we're starting to, see things come together, and I'm excited to see where we're at, even a month from now, headed into postseason, what we can string together.
Well, what's cool, too, about the Western AA, and we'll talk about the other team here in a second, is, for a while it was Sentinel, and then it was Helena High, and then it was Capital. But now we've got Flathead, and Flathead seems to be back after a long hiatus. And, this is a school that has seen a lot of struggles. You go up there, give them a challenge after beating Glacier, but fall to Flathead. But how cool is it to see another team in the AA now that is competitive, and it's not a guaranteed victory anymore?
Oh, for sure. And I think that's pretty consistent across the Western side of it this year. Hellgate is obviously super talented, and they've got a lot of experience, and they're kind of a kind of unique group, and just they returned everybody. But it's a battle between every other team, and I think that is really the first time we have seen that probably since I've been coaching, where every game you got to show up to be able to win, and it's super competitive. I think that we're going to, spend the season beating up on each other, and the teams that are peaking at the right time will be the ones, at the divisional tournament to have the success. But no, it's really cool. I mean, it's going to make us better as a team, knowing that we have to go into every game with the right mindset, and it's not just the gimme. Every team is going to play well in battle, and there's some talented kids, all across the Western team.
Which is great, too, because I think it makes everybody better in the West, which then helps beat the East. Whoever comes out of the West is going to be very, very challenged and game hardened by the time they get to the state tournament.
Yeah, I agree completely. And, that was one of the things that I talked to a couple of the Eastern coaches about, of just, the strength of schedule across the entire West is definitely, different this year in a good way. And it's going to add to, just every game is really important, and it's going to make teams better down the stretch, I think.
How good is Flathead this year?
They're talented. They've got a couple really talented players that at any given night they can, score big numbers. And they're another team. They've played together the last 3 years, and so they only have one senior that is a pretty important player for them that they'll graduate. And so they're going to be good for the next couple of years, and they're long. I think the biggest thing about them is they're tall, they're long. They start 3 girls that are 6 foot and above, and they're athletic. And so they're a fun team to watch, not a fun team to play against. But they'll have their moments, but they should be a very competitive team coming out of the West.
You're 1-1 on the weekend. Pleased with that? I mean, anytime you go on the road in the AA and get a split it's pretty good, I think.
Absolutely. I think that the Kalispell trip is a really hard trip because it's a quick turnaround. The mental prep is tough. You prepare for one team, and then the next day you got to turn the page and get ready for the next opponent. And so I think that it's a really good postseason experience for our kids that haven't necessarily been in that situation. Mm-hmm. So no, I thought our Flathead game was one of the best games we put together all year, which was great. We finally kind of strung together a full 32-minute game, and we had a few really good opportunities. We had Jada Clarkson with a great look at the rim at the end of the game that could have won it for us. So we put ourselves in those situations. In different games, we're going to have a good outcome, I think. Especially because we're just gaining some really important end of game situation experience right now.
Katie Garcin-Forba, our guest here on the Jason Walker Show. She coaches the Capital Girls. You mentioned Jada Clarkson, and it's always nice this year now to talk about, we talked about Parkland Heller last year a little bit, but even this year, but then Jada Clarkson, there's a name that you knew, but I don't think a lot of people across the state knew, and she put in 26 the other night, like you said, had a chance to tie it up or win the game.
Yeah, she's a fun player. She's really versatile. She's a guard, but we've had her guarding other teams' post players before, and she's super physical. And but one of my favorite things about Jada is she's very much team first, and she loves when her teammates have success. And so for her to have this explosive scoring night for us, her teammates were excited for her. They were, she kind of got that momentum going for us, and she just has the ability to be explosive at times. And as she continues to get comfortable at this level and with her teammates, I think she's just going to keep getting better and better for us. But she's a great kid. She's super coachable, and she comes in with a great attitude. I mean, what more can you ask for in a player?
Right. Yeah. I mean, she listens to the coach. What else can you ask? And she's a good player.
Yep.
Basically, that's it. Okay. You got a little game on Thursday. You're hosting it. It's crosstown. And it's not, you guys have had some whale of games over the years, but this is one of those years that it's not it's like, it's not a guarantee. You guys are going to have a battle this year. And I think it's going to be a fantastic game on Thursday. What do you see?
Oh, I think it will be. I think we're very similar in a lot of ways. We have similar players at each position. We like to run similar stuff. We're big on just our defensive presence. And so it's funny. I think that in a lot of ways we're playing ourselves. So with crosstown, the biggest thing is just the mental toughness piece and going in and not making the game bigger than it needs to be and not making it, bigger than it really is, and just going in and controlling the things we have control over throughout the game. It's going to be a game of runs, and the kids are going to feed off that energy. And a lot of these kids haven't played in front of a crosstown crowd before because we didn't have crosstown last year. Right. So we've got players that are going to have to we didn't have the crosstown fans last year. So having that experience for them, there's going to be some adjustments that go into that, and then just kind of slowing down, calming down, and playing our game. But no, I fully expect it to be a great battle, and I think it'll be a really fun game for sure.
And Helena High's a little bit like Capital this year, where it's any night someone can go off. I mean, you have an Alex Bullock, you have different players that can lead the team, not only in that scoring column, but also defensively, which makes it a fun matchup, I think.
Oh, for sure. It's you can scout and we can have a game plan, but if somebody else steps up and starts scoring points, then we have to adjust that. So a little bit like a chess match, we see what their first move is, and then we make our adjustments based off of that.
Shot clock introduced. Did you play in high school with a shot clock?
I did not. Nope,
Okay.
I was in Idaho.
Idaho is one of the few that didn't.
Have it approved. Yep.
But it's approved now, starting next year in Montana High School. How good is it for high school basketball in your eyes?
So I think it's fantastic. I think that it's bringing the game up to speed. I think it's a long time coming. And, people argue, well, it's going to change the style of the game. And, I sat on the MHSA basketball committee writing the proposal, and we talked a lot about that this fall. And I went back and I actually looked at all of our games for the last couple of years. And we had a boys representative do the same, and we both found that there was 2 possessions in like 3 years where it actually would have been affected by a shot clock. That to me is significant. It's not going to change the type of possessions. It'll change the quality of end-of-game situations, and it's going to improve the pace of play, I think, just inadvertently. But I don't think that we're going to see this huge impact in shot clock violations that people are expecting. And I do think that also provides a benefit for players getting ready to move on that want to play college, move on to the next level. It gets them prepped for that opportunity to learn what it means to play with the shot clock, and it's going to make teams be better at end-of-game situations where they can't, kill 2 minutes off the clock. They've got to execute and get stops on the defensive end. So I think overall it's a great thing, and I'm excited that we were able to get it implemented, and I think it's going to be a benefit to players.
Everybody complains about the cost. What's your answer to that?
Again, it's funny because the excuse or the reasoning behind it was always because the A or the B and the C schools weren't going to be able to afford it. Mm-hmm. And we spec'd it out as part of the proposal, and it varies in cost, but it's definitely it's not that unreasonable when it all comes down to it. It's honestly going to be more expensive for installation in some circumstances. But the C and the B schools, their representatives all said that the cost wasn't a concern, and they've got members of the community that were willing to step up and sponsor these and, help support this. So there will definitely be some schools that struggle with that piece and have to figure out to be able to finance it. We just didn't hear that consistently from other coaches across the state when we were working on this this kind of effort to see, is this something that could be implemented, and not only implemented at the AA, but all the way down to the B schools and the C schools, and can they feasibly afford to do it?
Well, I think you're going to see somebody like maybe a Northwest Energy, which already sponsors high school sports immensely. Somebody like that's going to step forward, I think, for that opening and really help out, especially those smaller schools, and say, look, here's a grant, here's money, go get it, and we'll donate. Just put our name on the thing. I mean, it's not a big deal if you look at it that way.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that, that was fairly consistent with what we heard. And so we looked into the cost and then what will it actually do to affect the style and the play of the game as that was getting developed. And I think that, we could see something from that, but I still think that the benefit outweighs what the cons could be.
Yep, I completely agree with you. I got to know, so you watch film all the time anyway, so has your husband even seen you if you were watching all these extra games and counting seconds and shot clock violation potentials? I mean, have you guys, aside from Hawaii for 6 days, have you talked at all in the last year?
It's in passing. I mean, we still share a bed, so that counts for
Okay, this is a family show. This is a family show.
But no, I mean, we interact. We eat dinner together. That counts, right?
Yeah, but are you watching film while you're eating dinner?
Sometimes.
Oh my gosh!
I'm not saying that it's a healthy addiction that I have with sports, but no, he's usually watching the Warriors or football or something. So
there you go.
Like I'm not bugging him to the honey-do list. If I'm watching film, he can do his own thing.
Love it. Hey, good luck on Thursday. Thank you for getting the shot clock put in. Appreciate your help on that. Media members across the state will thank you immensely when it comes tournament time, because that's when we're all together. And so can we please have a shot clock? Because it's worse at tournament time. It really is.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. No, and I can't say enough things. I mean, coaches around the state really rallied, and with their athletic directors, and it's been a long time coming, and it was cool to see the effort to have everybody come together and actually make it happen, and also get baseball sanctioned. That's a big deal.
Yeah, I love baseball. It's my favorite sport. I'm a little concerned though. I have some questions on that. Umpires, facilities, how does it affect Legion season, all that. I have a lot of questions, Coach.
I have answers for you.
Oh, do you? You have all the baseball answers too? Okay, we'll fire these off real quick here. Facilities, how does that work? Because a lot of the Legion teams don't want high school teams using their facilities.
Just like the softball teams have to do it. They may have to rent facilities from the cities.
Okay. Which is part of, in Helena, that's a problem because Legion and the city already work together.
They do, but we also have some other baseball fields that would be available.
Okay.
There's 2 others in town that they could potentially do a lease, just like they do with softball fields, at least at Capitol. That's what they have to do.
Okay. Are there enough kids statewide? Because numbers are down across the state, especially like Helena, especially in Great Falls. They barely had 26 kids on their team a couple years ago in Legion. Well, how are they going to fill 2 high school teams?
You got to look at the cost to play Legion ball versus school ball. It's going to be cheaper, and so I think you're going to be able to actually get kids out that may not have the opportunity to do Legion baseball because it is more expensive. And so if it's a school sanction, you're going to potentially be able to get more kids that are able to come out because it's not as costly to families.
Umpires. We're already a shortage for officials and bus drivers. Now where do we get umpires?
That's legitimate, but in the spring, we don't have as many sports that conflict. Track doesn't need the same amount of umpires. You have softball, and that's exception. So it's just like when you run 2 basketball seasons, you also have your wrestling officials. During football season, you've got football, you've got volleyball, you've got soccer. So you're down to 1 sport in the spring that needs those umpires. So now we're at 2. So I'm not sure you overload the official pool quite yet by adding baseball.
Wow. You really do have answers for this. I love it. Okay, so
I don't know that they're right, but that's my opinion.
Well, you answered some of my concerns. I appreciate that. So now you can go coach your team
okay.
on the other sport of basketball.
Perfect.
And then when baseball season rolls around, I'll get you back on and we'll talk about baseball. But obviously we got to talk about basketball first. So, but we'll talk baseball down the road. I love this.
Okay, that sounds good.
Hey, good luck Thursday. We'll talk next week. And congratulations on just being you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
That is Katie Garcin-Forba. Love chatting with her. And she brought up some valid points with my questions. So I valid answers. I like that. There you go. This segment brought to you by Rucker's Furniture. Make the quality choice for your home at Rucker's Furniture. 1010 Dearborn, Helena. We'll take a break. We'll come back on this day in history is on the way. We're going to talk to Brandon Day next, Helena High boys coach. Bengal boys looking good and in a good position right now. How do they feel heading into Crosstown this week? We'll talk to Brandon Day next here on the Jason Walker Show. Hang on.
Store-wide savings are what you'll find when you shop for new home furnishings at Rucker's Furniture. This means tremendous values on Helena's largest in-stock selection of home furnishings. When you shop Rucker's, you'll find store-wide savings on the furniture you want for every room in your home. And you'll also find our selection of Serta iComfort, the most comfortable beds in Helena. 12-month financing is available with approved credit on most purchases over $289. Ask for details. You'll find store-wide savings at Rucker's Furniture, 1010 Dearborn, Helena.
Yes, it's true that Montana is a long way from the Gulf Coast, but you can bring that Cajun flavor home with a stop at Cafe Zydeco. From po' boys to classic sandwiches, Cafe Zydeco has all the best Cajun in town. Are you in the mood for seafood gumbo or crawfish etouffee? Maybe you're craving jambalaya with some shrimp and grits. Head in for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or call ahead for pickup or delivery. Cafe Zydeco will fix all your southern cravings, even on a chilly Montana day. Cafe Zydeco is a proud sponsor of the Jason Walker Show.
New vehicles keep coming, and Capital Collision Center keeps earning certifications to repair them. They're Helena's newest GM-certified facility. No matter the make or year, they repair your car to manufacturer's standards and requirements, maintaining its safety and value. Montana state law says it's your vehicle and it's your choice where you have it repaired. Choose Capital Collision Center, certified in GM, Subaru, and Nissan, and Helena's only shop certified in Honda, Acura, and Ford. When you value safety, go to Capital Collision Center on Euclid.
Who doesn't love being number one? When your team's dominating the standings, or your favorite band rocks the charts at number one, it feels good, right? Kind of like how it feels when you have auto insurance with State Farm. Because making you feel like number one is an honor your local State Farm agent takes seriously. Through the good times and not so good, your State Farm agent's proud to be here to help life go right.
Call State Farm agent Mike Miller in Helena today.
Strength, beauty, grit, superior craftsmanship. Our homes have it all. At Montana Custom Log Homes, if you can dream it, we can build it. With 3 divisions and over 50 years experience, we've got you covered. From a showcase home to a small cabin, we make your vision a reality. Because every cowboy wants a castle for his queen. Montana Custom Log Homes, crafting homes that last for generations.
This is the Jason Walker Show.
Welcome back. Final segment on a Tuesday, Jason Walker Show. As always, if you miss anything, you can go to jasonwalkershow.com. That's where all of our previous shows are uploaded. You can also check out our About Us page, our sponsor pages. And if you feel like helping out and supporting the show, we appreciate that as well. Donations always appreciated. Jason Walker Show. Had a great time in Frisco, Texas, and had a lot of help getting down there. Montana Football Hall of Fame, Big Sky Brokers, Overland Express, Speaker Sprinklers, Excite Baits, along with Pinkerton and Company, combat veteran-owned company out of Wyoming, Casey Pinkerton, a Montanan. Makes everything from wallets to custom saddles, all from American leather and all built to last. Check them out, pinkertonleather.com. Use the discount code MTSports10 for a 10% discount at checkout. Well, there's it's a big week. You got Crosstown Wrestling tonight over at Capitol. Girls play at Capitol on Thursday, and the boys play at Capitol on Friday night. And joining us now to talk about the Bengal boys, who are on quite a roll, is the head coach, Brandon Day, joins us on the Mike Miller State Farm Hotline. All right, Coach. It's been a couple of weeks. I've missed our chats, but how are you doing after picking up a couple of wins over the last? Well, hold on. I don't know why the video's not playing there, so let me try this. Weird. It's just, you never know what's going to happen in technology, right? How about this? There we go. All right, Coach. It's been a couple of weeks. I've missed our chats, but how are you doing after picking up a couple of wins over the last couple of weeks?
Oh, we're doing pretty dang good. We can't complain too much. A little bit, but not too much.
Well, you, as a coach, you always can find something to complain about.
Oh, absolutely.
But how important are those wins? I know that the one before Christmas break, and we mentioned the streak and all that stuff, but now you're winning in league, which is even more important.
Yeah, especially that Hellgate game was huge. Helena High hasn't beat Hellgate in about 10 years, so to get that win to start us off after missing that Big Sky game, that was a good one for us. And that next one, I had a little game after the game against Flathead, along with some unhealthy athletes, but and then we came back and got Glacier on the next Saturday. So 2-1 at this point is huge for us, and we need to win the ones at home because we got a pretty tough second half of our schedule.
Well, it's never easy in the West, and you look at the West this year, it's just, when you guys beat a team like a Hellgate, that puts everybody on notice, like, hey, anything's possible in the Western AA. Anybody can beat anybody now.
Right, and it's going to be a crazy conference. It's going to be a lot of that going on this year. So hopefully we can just win the ones that we're supposed to and finish strong at the end.
Tough one against Flathead, but you rebound and get Glacier, like you said. What's that say about the guys and their ability to turn it around less than 24 hours later?
Well, it's huge to be able to move on. We talk a lot about next play, and forgetting about that last one, and it was huge for those boys to come out and come ready to play on Saturday against a very physical, strong Glacier team. So. It was big for us, and to have our few guys step up who didn't play as well on Friday night was big.
Brandon Day joining us, Helena High boys basketball coach. You got a tough one this week, Crosstown Friday night, but this one is more than just Crosstown. This is an early season battle for playoff positioning, really. I mean, you don't want to look too far ahead, but with you guys sitting there at 2-1, whoever wins this game on Friday night has the inside track heading into that second half of the season.
Yeah, and it's a good place to be for both of us, and I'm happy that guys having the success they're having, and we're back on the winning side of things, and it's a big game. I think it's fun for Helena, to have two competitive teams, and hopefully we can show up and play.
What is it going to take to beat the Capital Bruins? Be that team that does it.
The biggest thing with those guys is they score so many points out of transition. Cook is so fast up and down the court. And, he had 7 dunks. A lot of that just comes out of that transition game they run. And so we got to slow that down a little bit and then not give them second chances. They all can shoot the ball a little bit. So it's just a matter of, not giving them open looks and then not giving them second opportunities. So that's kind of our main focus with defense is slow them down there. And then offensively, we just have to take care of the basketball. They run a nice little 1-2 trap and cause some problems up front, which is where Cook gets a lot of his points in transition. They just like to get after you and mix up their defenses. So you got to take care of that basketball and cherish every possession.
Well, and it's not just Braden Cook. You've got the Michelati. You've got Hayden Opitz. I mean, this is a well balanced team. How do you defend each and every person out there 5-on-5?
No, that's just it. You try to take one away, and then it opens up another. And they're unselfish enough to where they find the open guy and do a good job of that half a year. So, it's just you just try to keep in front, make them take tough shots. That's the main thing. And hopefully then again, like I said, once they take that shot, you can't let them have another opportunity because they don't miss many.
Well, it's at their place, and it's been a couple of years since kids have played in a crosstown with fans. How much of a difference maker is that going to be Friday?
Well, I actually just had a little meeting with my captains, and we had a little discussion about, one of the keys coming out is going to be who's going to play with composure. We have to try and settle down and play basketball. Because, like you said, it's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun atmosphere. But can we play with some composure and not frantic? And that's going to be big for both teams, I think.
Brandon Day, our guest here, Jason Walker Show. Shot clock going into Montana high school basketball next year. What's your thoughts on it?
I'm excited about it personally. I run a lot of sets and I think it'll fit in nicely to what we do. But I have my worries. Sometimes teams take time with the ball because they can't get good looking shots. But I'm excited. I think it'll be fun. It'll take a little time. We'll probably have some ugly basketball from time to time, but overall, I think that it'll pick up the pace of the game for sure.
And it's funny because I think people aren't looking at this, is it's going to make, that fourth or fifth option on the team now become a better player because it could fall into their hands towards the end of that shot clock. You know what I'm saying? It's I think it makes the team better as a whole.
Right. It does. It will, teams can do, and it's going to change up how you defensively, how you strategize for games, how you, what you take away at certain points. I mean, it'll definitely change up the game. It'll make they're not comfortable with, and it can make it fun.
Well, and we'll find out how good coaches are across the state now too, because now you got to strategize.
Yeah, definitely a different strategy.
You played at college though with the shot clock, so what can you tell the kids?
Well, one thing when we played, we didn't ever have a tough time getting a shot off.
That's a good point.
That was never a Western Bulldog issue, when I played. But no, it's fun. I enjoy it. I think it's a fun part of the game. Like you said before, it's definitely going to add a little wrinkle into the coaching aspect, make it more exciting as well.
Also, I have to ask you this. I had a great question in mind, and now I don't. Wow, I just completely spaced my question. That happens, when you've got a little head cold. Yeah, I don't have COVID though. It's not COVID. It's not the flu. It's just a head thing. So yeah, if I ever remember my question, then I'll ask you again. Does it change you guys defensively though, the shot clock? Because you guys already like to slow things down a little bit, and play a full 35 seconds essentially.
Yeah, I think that defensively, I like my man-to-man stuff. It's kind of how I like to play. I don't know if it'll change much. It might change. If we press a little bit, just to slow them down a little more, just to take a little bit of that time off the clock. But offensively, every team wants to push the ball. I want to push the ball, but sometimes you just don't have the guys to do it. So.
Right.
I think that that's something that we'll definitely have to work on. And I think I have some of those players coming down the line. With old Tevin, Wetzel, and some guys that can really get up and down the court. So hopefully, we can take advantage of that getting up and down the transition game. But right now, we're just about trying to get good shots.
I remembered real quick. This is my final thought. Most of these kids play travel ball, and a lot of them use shot clocks in the summers, don't they?
Not in any of the Montana stuff. I don't know. Right. I would have to ask some of my guys that play on state I think that they do, like when they go play out in Washington and stuff, but I'm not 100% sure on that one.
Are you also a fan of baseball being added as a sport next year?
Yeah, I'm actually kind of mad that it wasn't there when I was a kid.
Same.
But I love baseball, but I quit to play more basketball in the summer. But
when you're when you're taller, it's kind of harder to play baseball.
Yeah. No, I will being a lefty, and I love that. Played a little first base and pitcher.
There you go.
No, it's a great game. I think it'll be great for the kids. Give more kids an opportunity. But Legion is combined, Capital and Helena, so this will keep more kids a chance to play, and some of those younger levels too. So I think it's a great thing.
Well, good luck on Friday night, and we'll talk next Tuesday as we get back into the swing of things before we get to the end of the basketball season, which is going to be here before we know it. It's kind of sad to say that, but we're nearing the end already, Coach.
I know. I can't believe it. I was just thinking we're almost to that halfway point. Time's just flying by. So, it's fun. I'm going to enjoy it.
Yeah. Good luck on Friday, and we'll talk next week, like I said, and get her done, will you?
Sounds good, buddy.
That is Brandon Day joining us, Helena High boys basketball coach on the Mike Miller State Farm Hotline. And there you go. It's a big week in Helena this week with Crosstown coming up. And you got Crosstown wrestling tonight. Man, Capital boys wrestling is really good. And it'll be interesting to see. Let's see here. Getting a couple of tweets. I just saw this tweet. I wanted to throw this at you. So Craig Haley, who does a lot of FCS sports writing, basically that's what he does. His preseason top 10 for 2022 is out. He's got North Dakota State at number 1. Why wouldn't you? He's got South Dakota State number 2, Montana 3, and then Montana State 4, followed by Missouri State at 5. Sac State is 6. Then Kennesaw, Southern Illinois, Villanova, Chattanooga. So NDSU, SDSU, UM, and then MSU, your top 4. What are your thoughts? We'll talk about that more tomorrow here on the show, Jason Walker Show. Interesting. All right, so there's that. What are we getting to? What did I have next? I think that was let's do on this day in history. It is January the 18th. It is National Peking Duck Day. It is Thesaurus Day because Roger was born on this date. It is also National Winnie the Pooh Day because in 1862, A.A. Milne was born, author of the Winnie the Pooh books. So that is why it is Winnie the Pooh Day. Just watched Winnie the Pooh movie with my little one over the weekend. She enjoyed it. 1896, first college basketball game with 5 players on each side conducted. Let's see, where was it played? University of Iowa. Student athletes from the University of Chicago were invited for an experimental game. Chicago beat Iowa 15-12. 1950, Indians pitcher Bob Feller went 15-14 the previous season, took a $20,000 pay cut to $45,000. It was his own idea. There is not one major league sporting person that would ever take a pay cut on their own suggestion nowadays. Super Bowl 10 in Miami, 1976. Pittsburgh beats Dallas 21-17. In 1983, the International Olympic Committee restored Jim Thorpe's Olympic medals, pentathlon and decathlon victories 70 years after they were taken from him because he had been paid $25 in semi-pro baseball. Kevin Costner, happy birthday. Yellowstone, Bull Durham, Field of Dreams, For Love of the Game, Tin Cup, just to name sporting movies, but Wyatt Earp, Dances with Wolves. 1955 he was born. So that is on this day in history, if you didn't know. And now you do. Let's do this.
We're almost at the end of the show. What did we learn? And what did he miss? Time for the walk-off.
The walk-off presented by Cafe Zydeco, where the Big Easy meets the Big Sky. Great beignets for breakfast sandwiches. They're open 11 to 3 Mondays. They're open 11 to 8 Tuesday through Friday. Saturday 9 to 3, and then closed on Sundays. But you can stop in at 625 Euclid and get unbelievable. A crawfish omelet. My uncle tells me crawfish are great. I've not yet had crawfish. Maybe I will from Cafe Zydeco. But I think there's crawfish in one of the things I get. Yeah, the etouffee. Yeah. You can also get pasta Zydeco, which is really good, has crawfish in it. So I have had crawfish. All right. Hey, big thanks to all of our guests today. We had a lot of fun. Katie Garcin-Forba, Brandon Day, Steve Keller, the Providence men's coach. Tomorrow, Alex Eshelman joins us. That's what she said. And Thursday, we'll talk to Ty Ridgway from East Helena boys basketball. Also scheduled to chat with Jerome Sowers. He'll be on the road, so we'll see if that works out. The new head coach at MSU Northern. We are so glad to be back in the man cave. We're so glad to be back with you. Crosstown Wrestling tonight at Capitol. It's going to be a good one. Get over there if you can. I think it starts at 6. But get on over to the Bears Den. We'll have results tomorrow. Also tomorrow, we'll talk more about the Craig Haley preseason top 10. And if you missed anything, go to jasonwalkershow.com. Appreciate all the support. We'll do it again tomorrow at 4. Have a great Tuesday.
The Jason Walker Show is produced by the Jason Walker Media Company. Any reuse, rebroadcast, or retransmission without the express written consent of the Jason Walker Show is strictly prohibited. Just listen, watch, and enjoy.